Look.
Listen. Taylor.
No, there's no Taylor here today, Clambos. His mic doesn't work. But it's too bad because he really wanted to participate in this episode of Look, Listen with Geese and Guyera, where every Friday we get together and discuss Pokemon and other things. Well, okay, everybody. It's episode 74. Today we're going to watch the 31st episode of Horizons, the Pokemon anime. But before that, we have pressing news in Geese's. Wait, before we get to Geese's update of the week, I have a correction for you, Clambos. Although, not really a huge correction on account of I cut out me being wrong about it. But so a correction just for me, just to tell myself. Okay, Clambos, as you'll recall, the English trailer, Netflix in the United States in February, even though I think BBC gets them right now. It's very strange. They get like 8 episodes.
BBC.
The BBC. Here's what I have to say. Last week, which I cut out so you don't know, I confidently said to Taylor, I said, oh, because he asked the question, do they change the voice actors for the Pokemon? And I said, well, they have different names in different languages. Pikachu stays the same because it's Pikachu. You say it the same in English and Japanese. But my verbatim words, Geese, were you're not going to have Sprigatito saying Niauha. Clambos, I watched the trailer for the English series, and that cat says meow. And I went, what? So one of two things is going on. Either I'm horrifically mistaken and they're just using the Japanese noises, which doesn't make a ton of sense, or maybe that trailer is so bad it just used the Japanese footage, and then just dubbed over the English Liko and Roy.
Maybe they thought they could keep Sprigatito's original Japanese noise because people are familiar enough with Nyan Cat. They'll know that Nya is like cat.
We're going to have to see what they do with Hungies. Fuecoco. And now, moving on to Geese's update of the week. What's new with Geese segment? What's new with Geese? What's new with Geese? What's new with Geese?
So I got an X-ray done. I got a small bowel fluoroscopy with contrast.
Ooh.
And scout images.
What is the scout image?
I honestly don't know. I think it's when they take an image of you before you take the barium so they get like a reference.
Okay.
I had to drink barium milkshake. It was slightly vanilla flavored. I would describe it as tasting like incomplete yogurt. It had the consistency of like wet cornstarch.
Okay.
And the tech was very nice. He was like, all right, you got to chug this in 5 minutes. I'm going to give you a straw and a bib because this will get all over you.
Pulls out his camera phone and starts filming you drinking.
So he puts me in the hallway. So I'm just drinking these 2 little bottles of barium in the hallway while other patients pass me by and I'm wearing a bib. Anyway, instantly it hurts my tummy. But so you drink this solution, you wait 10 minutes, they take the first image, and then you wait another like 15 minutes and they take the other one and wait until it completely covers your small bowels. So mine only took 30 minutes and the doctor came in and she was like, you have some fast bowels, borderline too fast. But other than that, my bowels looked fine. She says that my stomach issues may be related to gastric dumping because everything went so fast, but she says that she doesn't know. And yeah, that's new with me.
Now, time to thank you, Geese, for the update on your bowels and your barium and your x-rays.
Also, I pooped pure white.
Okay.
For like 2 days.
And now, moving from bowels to some people's favorite segment of the week, watching, playing, eating. And Clambos, I'm going to go a bit unorthodox this week. We're jumping straight into food to get the disappointment out of the way first. Do you have any idea how excited I was for this food festival. BJ Novak of The Office fame told me I'd be having the time of my life at his food festival, Chain Fest, where all these fast food companies get together and they hire some of the fanciest chefs to create fancy versions of the food they make, and you're supposed to love it and you're supposed to have a great time. But geese.
Disappointing.
Yep, most of the food wasn't even good. Portion size was so tiny, and nowhere in any of the literature before I bought the ticket did it say you get one tiny little portion per place. I thought it was nonstop endless food.
Why would you think that?
Expensive. And no, I'm not going to tell you how much. It was under 100.
All of the food festivals I've been to that had food trucks where you only get one small portion.
You keep saying trucks. There's no trucks. Let me pull out my tasting passport. One sec.
Getting one small portion per vendor is very common in food festivals.
Here's my tasting passport for Chain Fest. And maybe this is just a me problem, but they also had pork everywhere. And the pork stuff, I just went, what am I going to do? So Chili's starts off strong with pork and their big baby back rib sandwich. Didn't get it because it's pork.
It was pork and not beef rib?
Correct, it's pork. The next one, Pepsi. I don't even drink soda. So they covered the chicken tenders in Pepsi, so I just ate the french fries there.
You didn't even eat the chicken tenders because it had soda on it?
It's the soda clause, geese. I don't drink any soda, and I don't...
But you weren't drinking it. It was a flavoring.
It still counts. No. It still counts in my soda clause. It's not a flavoring. They literally pour a bottle of Pepsi into the barbecue sauce or whatever. Like, it's drinking soda. Okay,
no, it's not.
Yes,
I can't believe you. You caused this on yourself.
It's
You're
my
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's my soda clause. Next one, we're finally getting somewhere. Dunkin' Donuts, very tasty strawberry cold brew. First off, then you get a choice of a sweet donut or a savory donut. I got the sweet one because the savory one, guess what it had all over on it? Guess what it had on it? Geese, you're correct. Bacon all over the spicy donut. Ugh,
Ew, I don't like that. What's with everyone putting bacon in everything?
It needs to end. I mean, I understand that it had its moment in the sun in 2011, when you remember all the stupid memes.
Oh my God, yes.
People wearing shirts, bacon. I can't believe somebody wouldn't like bacon. Denny's literally had bacon shakes. It was, what a time.
What a time.
Not a good time, but what a time to be alive, bad. Parentheses bad. This one, Geese, they didn't stamp your card until you got the donut. So this one I did go back in the line to steal a second cold brew. But for what I paid, I'm not feeling bad. Next is Sonic Drive-In, a place many people despise. They were giving out giant hot dogs. Don't like hot dogs, didn't go. Now,
right, because you don't even do beef hot dogs.
Yeah, those are gross. Because they taste like pork, even if they are beef. And also, I don't want to be one of these people, but God, when you look at what hot dogs are made of, and yes, I understand you could kind of make that argument for any meat, really, but still, it's the grossest part of the animals that go to make a hot dog. But enough gross talking. Let's finally get to a good menu item. Jack in the Box had these Wagyu beef tacos, and they were so good, and they were served on a bed of curly fries. Ooh. That was a tasty menu item. Still too tiny, but very tasty. Oh, man, Geese. And Aaron would have been proud of the Pizza Hut because they had a very good buffalo chicken pizza. They also had a mushroom ricotta pizza, which I removed the mushrooms. Remove the mushrooms.
Love ricotta.
You would have lost it then because it was good.
But I don't like mushrooms. I like what they do for flavoring, but I don't like the texture.
That's exactly correct. That's why there was this Chinese food place we always used to eat. I don't know if it's still around in Texas, but I don't like mushrooms. Their lo mein came with mushrooms, so I started ordering it without mushrooms. But then it didn't taste nearly as good. So I had to go back to mushrooms, but just avoid eating the mushrooms. So for my ricotta mushroom pizza, I just removed the mushrooms. And honestly, this one wasn't terrible, but I gotta say this was the number one most disappointing menu item.
The Panda Express.
That's right, Geese, because what did I say before going to this food festival? I said, I'm gonna lose my mind. I said, I'm gonna eat so much of this Panda Express, super fancy version of their orange chicken made 3 different ways with all these crazy spices and world-renowned chefs. It was the tiniest little wooden skewer of like tiny little 3 pieces of orange chicken. And it was okay, but not only was it a baby tiny portion, I waited in a giant line for this. Not only all that, it honestly did not taste as good as their normal orange chicken.
Wow.
I about lost my mind. I said to myself, I'm going to go to this food festival and I'm going to eat just box after box of this delicious, fancy Panda Express orange chicken. You can only get it here because that's how they advertise it, in a giant box. But then you get it, Geese, and it's one tiny little wooden skewer. God, what a... Red Robin. That was a little burger, a little slider, had a bunch of bacon on it and avocado. Avocado makes me sick. I don't eat pork, so I had to scrape off all that. It was fine. It was whatever. And that's it. That's the whole dang thing.
That is really disappointing.
It is. You could have paid $120 more and you'd also get caviar and curly fries. And instead of waiting in line, you would have a Postmates employee walk it to you and you sit in a lounge. And then they had an area where you could play Mario Kart 64 and they had some arcades. But Geese, they cheaped out. It wasn't even real arcades. It was those dumb build your own tiny arcades they sell at Costco, and the Wario 64 puts on sale for like $100, $200 off, those baby tiny ones. Here's the thing. It's a lose-lose for me. I was never getting out of this because if I didn't go the whole time, I would have been just stewing, just thinking, man, I wish I would have gone. So I had to know. And unfortunately, Clambo, sometimes you live, sometimes you learn.
Sometimes you lose them, sometimes you use them.
Yep. And that was my food of the week. Before I go on to anything else, Geese, do you want to discuss fancy cookies or Jersey Mike's or dongles?
It's true. I had dongles for the first time in months, and I only got a McDouble and a small fries, and I'm happy to report that my tummy was fine.
I don't believe it.
I think if I did anything like fried chicken, I would be a no-go for me. Or if I did anything that's like greasier, definitely no more Culvers.
No, Geese, don't say such things.
I'm sorry. It's the truth.
No.
I also had a Jersey Mike sub today. It was the Italian. It was fine.
Hey.
It was too much ham or whatever's in it.
Just like you.
Too much ham in me?
No.
Or you mean a spicy Italian?
Italian.
And then, so my sister bought me and my parents these fancy cookies, this thick, like really thick, and they're like $6 each.
When she says this thick, her fingers, she goes from the bottom of her chin to above her nose. So that would be the size of, God, a 4-meat hamburger?
Yeah, they were like thick. And they were chocolate chip cookies. And they're like, I guess, famous in like LA and New York. Levon or something.
There's a lot of famous cookies. There's crumble cookies, I think, is popular.
But they were fine. They need more salt. It was too chocolatey. A good chocolate chip cookie has to have a little salt in it.
It does improve the flavor.
But they were fine. I can't eat a lot of sugary stuff.
Aww.
But that's all the exciting things I ate.
For my video games this week, Clambos, I tried out Baldur's Gate 3 on account of I didn't even realize this. There's a free trial on PlayStation Plus. So I played it on my PlayStation Portal, and I have to report that game is great on a handheld. So
I want to play it so bad.
It's a huge game. If you like turn-based games and picking, choosing, and nudity, you're going to love it.
I love all 3 of those things.
I don't know if I'm going to buy it. I think I'll just play the rest of the trial and be done with it. But I mean, it may win Game of the Year. We'll see. I feel like that game is very suited. If you can play it on a Steam Deck or a PlayStation Portal, I think you're going to be in business. And real quick, as far as my watching this week, for watching, playing, eating, the segment we're in the middle of, this is the biggest movie week of the year I've ever experienced. I don't even know what to do because I've got a movie.
Hollywood over here.
I've got to watch a movie today. I had 2 movies lined up for tomorrow. I have so many movies. Because here's the thing. With AMC A-List, you get 3 movies a week you can see for free. Normally, I see 1. If it's a crazy week, I'll see 2. I literally had to cancel movies this week because there's so many movies. I had 4 movies I got to see. So I had to cancel one just to watch these 3. And then there's another movie. There's the short films of what's-his-face. Is it Wes Anderson, maybe? Playing at the Egyptian that I can't go to because I'm in the middle of another movie. So tonight I'm going to see Eileen, which I've been wanting to see. That looks like it's going to be a real fun time. And then tomorrow I'm going to see Godzilla -1 and a movie that I've also been looking forward to for so long because of the advertising. Emma Stone looks so sick in Poor Things. There's a early access.
I want to see that.
Oh my God, the music, the score sounds so good. The music in all the trailers is incredible. But I'm going to go to an early screening of that tomorrow. And then Poor Holdovers, I guess I'm going to have to see that next week because I'm all out of movies this week. Jeez Louise. All right, geese. That concludes watching, playing, eating this week, which now means we're moving on to Poke News of the Week.
Also, I got a bad boarding position on my flight.
Say that again?
I got a bad boarding position on my flight.
No, geese, why are you a Southwest stan? You should be a Delta or American queen.
Well, I'm not actually going to get into it, but it's not that bad because it's only an hour flight.
Okay.
Or,
all right.
Wait a second. How does math work?
Guys, I have a question. Geese Peep, you tell me, am I goofing the big one here? I booked my flights to see my family for Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the stinking American flights these days say, oh, you want an aisle seat? Well, seats are going to be assigned at the time. You can pay us more if you want to pick your seat. So I say, fine, I'll pay the extra couple dollars just to pick an aisle seat. But here's my question, geese. I have a flight with a layover. So you're telling me I'm supposed to pay twice because of that? Because I have to pay for the fee on both flights? Or are they accounting for that and they're like having the price for each?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I realized afterwards, I said, wait, why am I paying twice? Layovers aren't my fault, right? I don't know. I'm going to have to ask somebody if you don't know the
You're going to
answer.
be on a layover?
Excuse me, it was way cheaper, and maybe it'll be a little bit of fun. Okay, Clambos.
Oh, yeah, you have a lot of fun in the layovers?
Clambos, I don't know if we've ever brought this up, but I love airports. I'm having the time of my life traveling. It's no better. Anyway, what were we even talking about?
Fees, layovers.
I'm confused because I know I said Poke News of the Week.
Yeah, you didn't talk about Pokemon news at all.
Why are we in the middle of discussing my flights? What did I bring this up for? I'm going to have to play back the tape. What? I just wanted to ask you. Oh, because you interrupted Poke News of the Week saying you had a bad seat in Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Moving on to Poke News of the Week. SarahB.net, our favorite website, has told us, now it's super, super confirmed. I think some of this maybe we've covered in the past through leaks, but now it's super confirmed. And geese, get ready for the great news. The Pokemon Go Community Days have been officially revealed for the Timeless Travel seasons. That's right, all these Pokemon are going to be shiny and they're going to be near you. January 6th is, of course, Rowlet, your boy. Shiny, I'm going to get the whole line.
Love Rowlet. And I hope that I don't think it's likely, and it probably won't happen, but I hope they put some Alolan Pokemon in Pokemon Sleep.
They will. And then January 20th is Porygon Classic, which means he's been around before. This one, I already have all 3, so I don't need him. But if you need a Porygon that's shiny, Classic means they've had a community day of him in the past, like years ago. So if you missed it before, now you can catch him again. Which is very handy because every human being on the planet played Pokemon Go when it first came out, but then most people fell off As did I, because at the time you could not transfer your Pokemon Go pokes to Pokemon Home and your main games, but now you can. So I got back into the game when they introduced Meltan and Melmetal. And the only way to get those Pokemon is through Pokemon Go, and then you would send them to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. And then they had the big shiny Mew quest. That was the only way to get a legit shiny Mew. Unless you had that crazy Eon ticket and you shiny hunted, which nobody on the planet has. Or Mystery Isle, whatever it's called. But now that I can send all my pokes to main games and home, I, of course, play Pokemon every single day and catch all those shinies. And then February 4th is, of course, Chansey. Get your Chanseys and Blissies. Happini, I'm sorry. Maybe you'll be hatching from eggs. Who's to say? Geese, are you ready for us to jump into the episode this week?
Yes.
What's the name of this episode in English?
The Singing Voice in the White Mist.
Or in Japanese, Shiroi Kiri no Utagoe. Geese, before I start talking, would you like to please give a one-sentence synopsis and a slight spoiler on your review of the episode? Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? You don't have to give a score yet.
Thumbs middle.
Ooh.
Tending towards down.
Geese, no.
Here's my synopsis. Lapras, myth and reality on the 7 seas. I actually don't know if they have 7 seas. I don't know the geography of the Pokemon world.
I also wrote the phrase 7 seas in my plot here. And to answer your question, Geese, they probably do have 7 seas because the Pokemon world is very much, I mean, it's not 1-to-1, but it is very much based on planet Earth. Because Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, Hoenn are all parts of Japan. Then Unova is United States, Kala France, Alola is Hawaii, Galar is England and Scotland, the Isle of Man is the DLC, and then Generation 9, of course, is Spain and Portugal. So they're all over the place. They're just mapping out our planet. It'll be very exciting for some of these. People are really wanting India and Australia. All right, Clambos, let's get into the episode. God, this opening's so good. I can't believe you don't like it.
I mean, it's a good opening. The episode is not the best.
It's a mysterious opening with a freight ship out on the water, and it's full of boxes. That's right, Tropius boxes full of berries.
I thought you were going to say full of bugs.
No. The box itself just has a logo of Tropius with some berries, but it is full of berries. Important to note for the rest of the episode. And there's mist everywhere. Ooh, it's so foggy and so sick. This crew on this ship, first of all, the voice acting, absolutely stellar. The attention to detail, because they have a full crew of Buizzles and a Floatzel, and they all have these sick Floatzel jackets and Floatzel hats. Oh my god, I love world building like this. When they use in-universe merch and uniforms that integrate the pokes. Oh, it's so good. But Geese, this fog, this mist, it's so mysterious. And it came out of nowhere. What starts happening to the ship?
Starts rocking.
Oh my god, and there's a reef, and there's rocks nearby. Oh, and what do they hear in the distance, Geese? It's a mysterious song. Is it Lapras, Geese?
Ooh.
Is that Lapras telling them to follow?
Who's to say?
Oh my goodness. Thank the heavens the Lapras made them get out safely.
And it's glowing.
Or so we think. Yeah, glowing. That's when they first said that, I thought he was saying it's shiny, but spoilers, no, it's not shiny. It's just literally glowing. Oh my god, Geese. The rumors are true. There really is a Lapras that helps people out of the fog. Or is there? Quite a mysterious episode, I gotta say. We cut to the intro song, and when we come back, the great salami is flying through the sky. Terapagos is napping on Nose Pass. Ooh. And then we see everybody in the breakfast nook. They're discussing this Lapras legend. Grandma Diana is reading from her book. What do we learn, Geese, about Grandma Diana in her youth?
As a young woman, she hunted for this Lapras of sailor tail, and she was unfortunately unable to ever find it.
Now, hunt is a strong word. I don't think she was trying to kill the Lapras. I think she was just looking for it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I didn't mean like actually hunt.
But the music in this scene is very cool, very mysterious. Ooh. Roy, the second he hears about this, he sprints out of the room to go look for the Lapras. Immediately is stopped. Oh my God, Geese. Dot has made up such a sick map. It's got all the fog areas, all the reported sightings of Lapras. What a good job, Dot. Look at her.
Grandma Diana gives Dot a compliment, and Dot doesn't know how to react, but Quaxley is like, take the compliment. Little hand waving thing. It's cute.
She's very bashful. Everybody's complimenting her, and everybody says, well, we're always going to do our best. It's okay. It's fine.
Liko has an internal monologue where she says, wow, my grandma's so cool.
So sick. Clambos. Dot has heard about the most recent Lapras sighting from those Buizel and Floatzel men we just saw. Let's go, everybody. And we cut to the docks. Fritos, Liko, and Roy are talking to the shipmen. Oh no, Geese. What happened to all their cargo? All the berries?
Although they safely made it through the mist, they did lose some berries.
They lost their entire shipment of
No, they didn't lose all of it.
Are you sure?
They don't say all of it. Some of our cargo fell off.
All right, well, they lost a lot, so they got to replace all of it and rebuy a bunch of Tropius berries.
Which ones are those? Oh, wait, no, you just mean the Pokemon, sorry.
Yeah, Tropius is a Pokemon. He's a goofy-looking, dragon, giraffe-looking... He's got leaf wings and he's got bananas growing from his neck. He's a goofball.
Wait, what?
Look him up, Tropius, Generation 3. But the boxes are just full of berries. It's just the company that sells those berries uses Tropius as their logo.
Oh, he's kind of cute.
But we got great music play. This episode is what I meant to say. This episode full of stellar music. Every scene you're going, wow, what good music. But the great music is playing as the man from the ship wishes the Rising Volt tacklers luck on their mission to find Lapras.
He looks at the camera and gives a thumbs up and a wink.
And then we cut to sailing through the sky. Fritos asks Nosepass where North is. And Nosepass tells him because Nosepass is always facing north.
Sailing, take me away somewhere. Liko
and Roy are looking up Lapras in the Pokedex. Apparently, Lapras is so smart and so kind, Geese.
Roy talks about how he saw Lapras a lot on the island, and then they were very friendly, and they let them ride them.
Ooh, that would have been fun. And then Quaxley and Ludlow show up. Dot has put herself on a selfie stick ring light Rotom phone to vlog the Lapras encounter. Very exciting. And then Quaxley eats some snacks.
More like Snaxley.
Got him! And now, we're approaching the Lapras encounter site, so it's time for the brave Asagi, a.k.a. the Great Salami, to drop down into the water. And like Geese said, it's time to sail these 7 seas. It was a fishing boat, after all. Geese! Roy sees something in the distance. Oh my goodness, it's those boxes of Tropius berries. In the water, there's so many of them, and they're all by that reef over there. This point in the episode, Terapagos becomes very excited for some reason. Oh man. What happens next? I was so excited. We get a scene of Murdoch, and what does he say, Geese?
When they find Lapras, they're going to have a party, and he's going to make donuts.
Not just any donuts, Geese.
Premium donuts.
Premium donuts. Oh my God. Well, the children are very confident that this Lapras is going to be nice and friendly and not fight them at all like all the other 6 heroes of Destiny.
And Grandpa Ludlow, he's like, be wary of making assumptions.
Be weary or be wary?
Who's to say?
Yeah, I'm to say. I'm getting huge deja vu because I'm pretty sure this exact sentence followed by my sentence followed by her sentence has happened before on an early episode where she mixed up weary and wary.
I think that actually has happened.
Yeah, as do I. To be wary of something means to be careful and cautious. To be weary means you're sleepy. So be sleepy about it.
Don't be both.
Yes, that's correct. Grandpa Ludlow says, you know what happens when you assume. And now, Geese, the mist has arrived. Ooh, and it's the Lapras song. What's gonna happen? Ooh. Commercial break. We're back from the commercial break. Is that glowing Lapras close to us, Geese? Is that a Lapras I see in the foggy distance?
Oh.
The ships are rocking. Oh my gosh. But we can barely see it through all this fog.
Huh, what's that?
Let's follow it. But Geese, Grandma Diana isn't so sure about all this. She says, how odd. And Terapagos' eyes start to sparkle. He approaches the edge of the ship. He approaches the edge of the ship and he yells, Pago! And Geese, Fuecoco's yelling hungies and he's holding his little berry. But then what happens to his berry?
A monkey steals it.
Oh my god. It's Ambipom. What's an Ambipom doing? And a toad stealing all the berries in the middle of the ocean? Shouts out Toad Squirrel.
That's not a tentacruel?
No, Geese. This is a convergent evolution.
Oh.
It's a Toad's cruel.
So this jellyfish lives in the jungle?
He's not a jellyfish. He's like a mushroom guy. But via just like Wiglet and Diglett, he just appears similar to...
That makes no sense because the whole thing of convergent evolution is that they fill similar ecological niches. We
had this exact conversation, and I promise it makes sense in the Pokemon world. Oh my god!
But they're not even in the same environment.
There's Tentacruel, I'm sure, nearby. Paldea. Spoilers, because Geese is getting into it. The Pokemon we're going to meet in this episode don't live in an ocean. And there's a reason for that, and we'll find out probably next week, actually, because they don't really... touch on it this week too much, but crabs are a real-life example of this. Actually, crabs are so cool. Calambos, if you're unaware, crabs have been recreated evolutionarily so many times on our planet. Even after mass extinctions and they're like redoing evolution, crabs form again. They're just a perfect design. They just keep coming up.
I did a paper on horseshoe crabs, and that's all I have to say.
Very sick. But yeah, Toad Squirrel's sick, but he's stealing berries, and he shouldn't be. Also, how is he on this ship? What is going on? What are these Pokemon pirates?
Yarg.
Are they working with the Lapras? Is this all just a ruse? Every one of these ships that reported being saved by Lapras has actually just been ripped off and hornswoggled by Lapras this whole time?
Hornswoggled?
This is just a bunch of highway robbery on the 7 Seas? And then Geese, Toad Squirrel uses a mud shot right into baby Fuecoco's eyes.
Honestly, the audacity, shameful.
She's shaking her head no. I was so upset because of course we know Tentacruel is a water type, but Toad Squirrel's a ground type. And Fuecoco's weak to ground type attacks, and he's using a ground type attack, so that's 2.5 times effective. That does so much damage, it knocks poor Fuecoco out. Oh my god, right in the eyes. And then Sprigatito jumps in to use Quick Attack to show those Pokemon pirates who's boss. And Geese, they run off to the side of the ship, and what do?
They disappear.
They jump off the side into the middle of the ocean? What? Neither of those pokes can swim.
Something fishy's going on.
And they swim off real quick on the back of something, and it's so confusing. We can barely see. What is it? And then After this scene, the fog disappears. Luckily, Quaxley comes in to save the day to clean up Fuecoco's poor little face. We see some Wingle flying up in the sky. What is going on? Terapagos seems disappointed. Everybody's confused.
Oreo was talking about how thankful she is to the Lapras for guiding them out of there.
Maybe some misplaced things. And Roy, in a bit, this is an interesting scene, actually, because it's a bit of a role reversal. Because normally, I would say Oreos is pretty sharp lady. She knows what's up, and Roy is more naive. But Roy immediately knows something is up. He says, those Pokemon tried to steal those berries. And Geese, we get the cutest thing. I don't even know if you noticed it, but it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. In this scene right here, when Roy's getting all worked up about these Pokemon, little baby Fuecoco, he puts his little arm in the air going, yeah!
I did see that.
And he's shaking his little fist, yelling hungies. It's so good. He's saying, yeah, there's something up with these pokes. And then so Fritos pulls up a PowerPoint presentation on the overhead projector, and he shows pictures of Toadscruel and Ambipom. And Roy says, yeah, that's them, all right. What a scene. So many little good faces right here. Sprigatito's looking up at the picture, just livid. The look on her little face. We learn, as discussed earlier in this podcast, these are forest Pokemon, not ocean Pokemon. They're not even native to this area. Dot pops in then, Geese. And what blurry photograph does she show them?
Well, they don't know what it is because it's blurry.
She shows what they escaped on. Also, I think Glambos, they're finally putting together the coincidence of the fog appearing. You're telling me that they just so happen to be covered in fog right when they're robbed by a bunch of Pokemon?
Pretty suspicious.
And you're trying to tell me that this fog just immediately appeared, even though Fritos has been sailing these 7 seas for decades, and he knows what it looks like when fog is approaching? But Grandma Diana reveals, this isn't real fog. It's the move mist. The move mist that Lapras can learn. Oh my goodness. So Fritos, much like Jack from the television series Lost, says, we have to go back. They're going to go back to where they saw that Lapras, back to where they saw that fog, and back to where those Pokemon stole their berries. God, Fritos, what are you doing? Ori, oh my God, Geese, I bet you were into this when Fritos really put on his ordering around hat. She's flipping her eyebrows up and down real fast. Fritos takes charge and he says, Oreo, you go to the engine room. Gramps, you fly the ship. Murdoch, Molly, Captain Pikachu, come with me. You're on a special mission. I got a plan. So we cut to Liko and Roy on the deck. They hear Molly and Murdoch putting all the Poke Food boxes up on the deck. It's a trap, Clambos. A lure for the Pokemon. And I like the label on this Pokemon food, too. It's a very cute little Rotom fridge form. He's wearing a little chef's hat. And he shows little pellets, Poke pellets. And then Fritos makes the wings disengage to become Battle Stadium. And right on cue, Geese, what is the ship surrounded in?
Mist.
And it starts rocking. And Fuecoco, like always,
he's tripping and slipping.
He's tumbling. Oh, God, Terapagos, too. Luckily, Liko saved him. No, Glambos, don't worry about Sprigatito. She's a cat, 9 lives, always lands on her feet. She's fine.
She's fine.
She jumps right at Liko. Oh, my God, Geese. This next scene of Fritos standing perfectly still on the rocking ship, looking so sick. What does he tell Captain Pikachu to do in one of the sickest moments of the scene of the episode?
Make a vortex. And lightning.
That's right. He says, Captain Pikachu, use Rising Volt Tackle. The whole reason we met in the first place, where you fly super high into the sky, so high. And what happens to the mist, Geese?
Disappear.
It clears all the fog, Clambos. He's so high in the air. Holy moly. I can't believe what we see next. They look over the side of the boat, and who were hidden in the mist, but now clear as day for everyone to see. So many Pokemon. Oh my God. We got a giant Wailord with a bunch of cool scars on his face. Standing on top of him are, and Geese, you could take a nap for this, Vigoroth, Clawitzer, Octillery, Galarian Slowbro, Mandibuzz, Barbarelle, Barbaracle, and of course, as we met before, Ambipom and Toadscruel. And then in the water nearby, we got Dragalge, 2 Jellicent, both male and female, Mantine, and Delmise. And I'm surprised what happens next. They don't give 2 poops that there's no fog. Toadscruel and Ambipom jump right onto the ship, everybody looking at them, and start stealing the food right away. And now we see Lapras. But it's looking away. We can't see its face, Geese. I wonder why. What will be the big reveal?
Also, it has a 6 scar on its eye.
Much like Jet from Cowboy Bebop. Is this truly the Lapras of the 6 heroes? Lapras then, Geese, starts approaching Liko on the edge of the ship. And then Lapras screams in Liko's face. As the words "to be continued" appear on the screen. Oh my God, what a cliffhanger for this episode. We don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what cliffhangers are.
All right, Geese.
Hee.
Now, I gotta admit, when I
Slimy Grimer.
No, I was doing that. What is the song you're always singing? You.
Where are you?
You. There you go. When I saw this first, Lapras, episodes and episodes ago, I did believe, it's a Lapras, so he's going to be nice and friendly. Yeah, sure, the Galarian Moltres is going to give you a hard time and yell at you and fight you, but I bet Lapras will be nice. Nope, they surprised me. This Lapras is not playing around. He's clearly, or she. I did think that Lapras was going to be nice, but no, this is a hardcore Lapras, so who's to say what happens? Before we discuss our opinion and review score, this week, Clambos, things are shaking up. We were expecting a Frito's Seminar of the Week, but instead, they give us something else. It's a brand new segment. It's very adorable. It's a hand-drawn little picture called Terapagos' Sparkly Exploration Diary. And it's just this short little scene at the end of the episode of something that happened with Terapagos. And Liko drew a picture of it. And Geese is going to take it away. What happens, Geese?
Basically, it shows... It's Terapagos following Sprigatito, and Sprigatito's kind of annoyed that Terapagos is following her around. But then eventually she warms up to him and she does a little sweet scent and they take a nap together and it's cute.
My favorite part of that is when Sprigatito was trying to escape Terapagos. She hid inside of Scruffy Noctowl's feathers and down. Owls have down, right? But Terapagos still managed to find her. Also, during that, Captain Pikachu yells at them to stop fighting. You kids better stop fighting. Once Sprigatito decides that she cannot fight Terapagos, the only option is to use Sweet Scent to put them both to sleep. That's when Liko walks up for the first time and says, "Aw, you guys are such cute friends."
Where are you?
This episode, to me, if I had
boring.
to give it... Geese, it was cool. It was mysterious. It was fun. I think solid.
It was fine.
To 8.75.
It was like a 7.
I mean, you can't win with Geese. Especially, look, she's had 2 episodes in a row she liked. There's no way she would like 3 in a row.
That's true.
You could give her a plate of diamond. She'd still be disappointed. But it was a fun little episode. from the word go, with this incredible voice acting, music, new characters, world building. We are definitely better than the first couple episodes of this new season. I'm happy. I'm pleased as punch. I guess not a lot happened, but I don't know. It had the vibes. The vibes were correct for me. What was your review score, Geese? 7?
Yeah.
And just boring? That's all you had to say about it?
No, it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't boring. It was serviceable. I was never bored watching it, but I don't think it was my favorite episode.
Yeah. Hard to get a new favorite every week, but I still enjoyed it. Oh! I was going to mention this at the end, but we can mention it now. So next week, Clambos, we're going to record a bunch of batches to get us through the holidays. And so next week, we're actually, instead of Pokémon Horizons episode 30 whatever, or who's to say, episodes 32, we're actually going to watch the first episode of Paldean Winds. And so we're going to try to do as many Paldean Winds as we can. I think there's 3 now. There may be 4 by the time we finish. And then we'll go back into Pokemon Horizons episode 32, which we have to do for a number of reasons, one of which is there's no more episodes. So we're completely caught up on Horizons, and there is not another episode to watch and discuss as of yet. So please enjoy Paldean Winds, which I hear is very good. Geese, is it time for the wrap-up?
It is. It's wild how much quicker we are when we don't have Taylor.
Yeah.
All right.
Stands to reason.
Thank you all for listening. You can follow us, Look, Listen, Cast at Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you to Keith for our artwork. You can find him at twitch.tv/keithsquared.
Shouts out to Professor Ticklebits. You can follow him on You can follow him on twitch.tv/prof_ticklebits.
And on January 6th, he's doing the Game of the Year on his channel.
So make sure to watch that. I'm sorry, I asked before, but it is a live stream Game Awards?
Yes.
And what time?
To be determined. Probably.
To be determined.
I would say 8 p.m. Central.
Maybe 8 p.m. Central. Watch a Game of the Year stream.
I'll be on it, I think.
At twitch.tv/prof_ticklebits. Thank you for the website and the boilerplate. Also, thank you to our supporters. You can support us by going to looklistencast.com, or there should be a link if you listen on a podcast service right there. So thank you so much to our supporters. Please recommend this podcast to your friends and family. It's all ages. Geese said a swear word in the beginning, but I'll bleep it out, so you won't hear it. Don't worry. Also, please send your questions to looklistencast@gmail.com so we can read them at the end of the episode, like right now. This week, it's from Triforce Vigor, and it is a continuation of her email where it went autumn and then winter, and now we get a follow-up on the winter. Geese Peep, what Pokemon would be grumpiest with the winter weather? And also, what Pokemon would be suited to help Santa? And here's a twist I'm adding. You're not allowed to say Delibird, the Santa Pokemon.
I think one of the grumpiest would be Litten, because Litten is already grumpy, and Litten's a fire type.
Also, he's native to Alola, a tropical paradise.
Aren't there, like, reindeer Pokemon?
There's Stantler. You could make him into a reindeer. Or, like, you could make him pull a sled and fly. He can't fly, but maybe a Weirdeer could use his psychic ability to fly. We could go with that. That's a good answer. We know in the early anime episodes, Jinx was Santa Claus's partner. Geese, do you remember us watching the episode where literal Santa Claus was there? Not like goofball Pokemon.
That also had Lapras in it.
It did. Literal Saint Nicholas was in that episode. Man, early Pokemon was great. You'd have just real fish hanging out. You'd have Misty pull out a cross to scare off a ghost. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me think. Who's the grumpiest for winter weather? Probably Unova, Darmanitan, and Darumaka. Those boys seem like they would not like snow, unlike their counterparts, Galarian Darmanitan, which loves the snow. And then for Pokemon to help Santa, unfortunately, I've got to be boring with it again. It's got to be Arceus, Arceus would walk over there. He would will into existence all of the presents and then use more mythical Pokemon to transfer them very easily for Santa Claus, and he wouldn't have to do so much work. And that, Clambos, is the end of our episode of a podcast about Pokemon and other things. This was episode 72, Geese? 74.
Wow.
Episode 74. Thank you for listening. Geese, please say goodbye at least 3 times. So I'll start with one goodbye, and we know that'll be picked up. Now, let's hope at least one of your goodbyes is picked up.
Goodbye. 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 Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company